How's it going, guys? Coming back at you again with a short little video showcasing my SCX24 Deadbolt. I'm just gonna kind of go over some of the upgrades and mods and things that I've done to it to turn it into the beast that it is. So starting off, we've got the RC 4-wheel drive mudslingers. They're probably one of my favorite little upgrades. Simple, easy to do, and it makes a huge improvement. They're mounted onto the RC 4-wheel drive competition beadlocks. They're great wheels, but man, those little lugs that they come with are almost impossible to work with. I've seen people make little custom tools in order for them to come on and off. I figured just swapping them out for normal little M2 screws works a little bit better for me personally. I also did the hot racing front bumper, the one with the hole so I could do a winch system, which I went ahead and built. We upgraded the servo to that Emax ES08 MDII. It is a huge upgrade. Just doing something as simple as the servo, that original servo this thing comes with, is absolute garbage. Just throw it away, get a better one, upgrade it. As you see, we obviously have the Trail axle covers, both front and the rear. They just look phenomenal. Now, I didn't do the what are they called, the skid plates yet. I've done the main skid plate, but I haven't done any of the little protection skid plates. I kind of like how the metal is getting chewed up just a little bit. I like the look of that. I've also done the wheel weights inside all of the competition beadlocks, and then the weighted brass knuckles up front as well. The weights definitely do add to a little bit more stability on the trail, but you will notice you'll go through motors a little bit more frequently. At least I did, until I upgraded to the barrage motor. That front bumper, which we removed, we then cut out the back end a little bit and remounted it back here. And then I made a little license plate that's like slowly starting to fade away and wear off. I'll have to make a new one soon. I've got the hot racing shocks in there. Those are nice. They're not the best. I prefer the Charisma shocks, even though they're a little bit difficult to mount and get in there so your truck sits at a relatively nice height. But these do the job for the time being, and the adjustable tension rate, I don't know exactly what you want to call that, really does add a bit of a difference to it. I've got the stiffer springs on it personally, as this is a bit of a heavier rig, and I noticed the black springs that aren't nearly as heavy, the thing just droops entirely. And I know some people like to run full droop. I kind of like to have a little bit of tension in my springs. So let's go ahead and go inside. Now internally, some of the upgrades we did was the Shapeways low CG ESC receiver tray and battery tray. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't do the battery tray, as I went ahead and changed its whole positioning so that I could set up the winch system in there. Now the winch system is really simple. Honestly, anyone can do it. It's just plugged into channel 3, and oftentimes I don't even have it plugged in. I'll just plug it in when I know I'm going to want to use it, just so I don't draw extra battery from it. I'm using servo horns, just 2 different circular servo horns that I've slightly modded and glued together to create the spool. I'm sure there's different ways to have achieved that, but it worked for me. And yeah, really the most difficult thing about this was figuring out where to mount the actual servo so it was under the body and out of the way. I didn't even necessarily need the guide tube system, as it worked just fine without it. I just thought it might look a little bit better when I open up the hood, and then also to prevent any kind of potential binding that could occur in the future. It's using real cable, like a little braided cable wire that has a bit of plastic kind of heat shrunk around it. And then I've just got a tiny bit of chain up front just to help make it a little bit more dangly, a little more scale look. That is my deadbolt. Oh yeah, we've got the, almost forgot, we got the barrage motor. That was a really solid upgrade. I've installed those a few times. This one has seen a little bit of water here and there, and It's still holding up. I got some extras just in case, or when this one does finally die on me. We did the little sliders, little rock sliders, and I like this upgrade a lot. You wouldn't really think too much of it, but it does prevent a lot of that body scrapage and or like getting hung up from the actual body itself. As you see, it just perfectly prevents that entirely. Cosmetic upgrades, not a lot. You know, I went ahead and dinged up the fenders a bit, hit it with a lighter, and kind of just pushed them in. Hit it with a bit of paint too, kind of give a little bit of that, I don't know, scratched up paint look. We threw on some little exhaust pipes that never want to stay straight. I could probably glue them on a little bit better, but I've been lazy. I made my own little mirror with a little dangling, what is that, air freshener? I know, it's a fully open cage. It doesn't need to make sense. And then, of course, the spare tire in the back and our little shovel that we mounted to the side. Oh, and door handles. Yeah, buddy. Oh, and I guess the little scale detail of the front end. Man, I've done so much to this that it's hard to remember everything. But yeah, that's the Deadbolt. How could I almost forget this? I also widened the axles, both front and rear, using the Hot Racing plus 4mm axle widening kit. And then I went ahead and extended the front of the Deadbolt as well. And I had to replace the drive shaft, the links, and then I had to do a little bit of modification to my bumper housing. In fact, this is the bumper mount to the C10 that I've then trimmed and used a lighter to then mold its overall shape and a few things to make it so that the bumper sits overall in a comfortable position as well. So that's it. That's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, happy crawling.